What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, James.
Soda.
And I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
Boom! Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, Episode 1.
Yo.
I mean... No, don't end and start. Producers already... Okay, definitely Episode 1 still. Definitely on Episode 1. I gotta put on my mask, dude. I mean, we're an audio show, and I wasn't wearing my mask right away. She's losing it already. Hey, Klump, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, introduce the show. I gotta do this. I gotta put on the thing.
Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. We do things wrestling related, talk, all that. It's nice to see you guys. Yeah, that's better energy.
I can kind of read with this on. I think I'm gonna...
Oh my.
Hey.
Welcome to our first show.
Welcome to the first
We
show.
got Dork Chop in the house.
Dork Chop already? Boom! Dork Chop!
Woo-hoo.
Oh, it is. I mean, I got to get particularly angled here, but I'm pretty good. I think I got this. Drinking will be neat.
That, yeah.
Should have grabbed a straw, I think. I got straws. All right. No, we're doing this. No, this is good. This is good. There we go. Klump, what's in your cup?
Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks.
How much cream versus coffee ratio?
It's darker than I would do it.
Darker than you would do it. Gotcha.
It's like...
Whoa! There's a lot of people coming through. We got Grim Reaper. We got Coach. They're liking the Jamarchico.
Yeah, El Jamarchico.
I was trying to figure out how to say it too. I was trying to. I had a L.
El Jamarchico.
I don't. Oh God, how do you say ref in Spanish?
Ref.
God damn it.
I'll fight. Give me a second.
You're like, surprisingly doesn't come up in a lot of conversations. It's not as conversational as you think.
Arbitra. Or arbitro.
He did a 6 month? Damn. Dork Chop's the dude. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. I can't repeat that.
Arbitro.
Dork Chop El Refo.
El Refo.
Wait.
Did Klump leave?
No, he's there.
Oh, all right, good. I was like, we just lost Klump. Klump's like, hold on. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm getting my producer to answer.
Oh, gotcha.
Did you
yeah, I
just
mean,
say
when
El
you...
Referee? I got confirmation it's El Referee.
El Refo sounds better.
El Referio.
We're going to go with El Refo. Thank you.
It's just... Grim Reaper's coming through. Orbito. Wait, isn't that grandma? How do you say grandma?
Abuela.
Yeah, there you go.
Abuela.
That's that good cocoa right there.
No, that's abuelita, and that is that good cocoa.
Wait, no. I'm not. I can't roll them. I mean, yeah, I can't roll them. I do like going to all the Mexican restaurants out here, and when you see the people who are trying to like really bring it home, that hey, they're on the end. They'll be like, I'm gonna need some taquitos with guacamole.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, you really laid that one on. Guacamole. Can you roll
just
your
like
R's?
me. Oh hell no.
No?
Like that's the one part of Spanish I fail at is I can't roll R's.
Yeah, I got you. What can you roll your R's like that way he wrote referee in there? You said certain things. Can you try that one out?
Referee.
She said absolutely not. She said there's no fucking way. Producers all like, this is where you stop. All right. Well, we did the best we could. Grim Reaper looked it up, got it right on Coach. Coach is, look at Coach in the chat, supporting everyone else in the chat, telling everyone they did a good job. I like it. I love it. Klump, how you been?
Good. I did find out how to say referee in German for some damn reason. Good. Things are good.
There you go.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what we'll do
way
next
harder.
year.
It's
I'll
harder
find
than
that
saying it
mask.
in Spanish.
I know we didn't have you on last week, and we won't really go in on it, but overall, Hell in a Cell, did you like it?
Yeah, anything to get a title off of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that was my feeling.
Nicholas could come back. That legless guy from AEW, that'd be cool. He is a great, good performer, but have that anyone, just Zach Gowen.
I can't wait for Nicholas's return.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. Good stuff. Let's see. Do you have any news that you want to hit?
Well, let's throw out the hard one first. Unfortunately, we found out yesterday that Tracy Smothers passed away, due to cancer. What a perfect time for Kevin to jump in.
Kevlar's jumping in.
Are we live?
I was gonna
Are we
scream
live?
with excitement, but he
Welcome to
just
Wrestling
said-
Rocks.
this is the most tasteless RIP we've ever done.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, Tracy Smothers died. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, thanks for coming through.
God damn it.
What is this outfit?
What's he got?
Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. I'm at Ref. Excuse me. Yeah.
Did you put a pillow on your? Did you put a
I-
pillow in your tummy?
Oh man,
No way.
he's me.
That's you?
He's me.
God, we should have done. I should have
The
done this
beard's all
too.
black.
It's way smart.
Oh, that would have been so good. Do you have a hat? Go get a hat. You'd
Royal
be
Rumble.
Kev.
Second. Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Is that his Rumble hat?
Yeah.
That's
Because that's my
funny.
hat. I got that hat.
Yeah, you do have the Rumble hat, but it's all signed.
Yeah, his is less signed. There are more people.
Wow, all right. You
Yeah,
nailed
this is
then.
it. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Hallow Wrestling on the Rocks.
What did I miss?
We were trying to figure out how to say ref in Spanish for like 15 minutes.
So we've nailed it to Refo.
Yeah. We're going with Refo.
El
I
Repo.
said in the chat, what's funny about that is, like, you guys are like half Mexican,
Yeah.
and I'm like full, and we're all just
Yeah.
like,
And none of us roll our R's.
I do for some stuff.
Kev, you can roll your R's, right?
See.
Proud of you. So proud of you.
Can you do referee with rolled R's?
Referee.
Yeah! Woo!
It's hot being you.
Ole, 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 ole.
It's hot being you.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean, producer can confirm.
All right, but we were going into some sad news before you came on with this hilarious costume.
Hey, why would you say it like that?
Because look at that beard.
What? It's glorious. He's got a glorious beard.
It's like a square.
Yeah.
I got my squirrel under here too.
Yeah. Oh, do you have the little possum?
No, I couldn't find the possum.
Oh, the little one. I got the
little
sugar glider,
furry.
which we talked about on the last show because he ran by. Kevlar's kid likes him so much that he's got a little tiny possum toy that he'll put in his shirt and walk around with. It's amazing. Yeah, and it's funny. Like when I go over to their house and bring him, he'll run and grab his, and I'll be like, "Look, see, I got mine too." And it's like, "Oh yeah."
You're not the only one.
Yeah. All right, so Kev is here. Tracy Smothers did pass away yesterday. Legend of the Ring. Did you watch? I feel like he was right before we started getting the chance to really watch wrestling, but that would have been when your grandma was watching, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember some of his stuff. You know, the Southern
he-
Boys and stuff, and
He was part of the FBI.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I feel like his big legendary, the stuff that people really go back and rewatch is a little bit older of stuff. But tears in our beers. Rest in peace to Tracy Smothers, another
Yeah.
legend gone.
Nothing but good things
cheers.
said about him.
I was actually surprised at the amount of young talent who were talking about their experiences with him on the indie scene. I didn't realize how involved he stayed in wrestling for so long.
CM Punk put out a really nice story about like his first person he met that had a name or performed with that had a name was Tracy Smothers, and he learned a lot from him. And
I saw a few people say that actually. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like that's not an isolated story. A number of people. I think Ricochet said something similar. Eddie Kingston I think said something similar.
Mhm.
He was around and influencing people and taking them under his wing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, that if you're truly passionate about something anywhere, that's what you do is you don't just, leave and end. You try and grow it. And that's what the best you can be the best you can hope for is to have a legacy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I do love in looking at information about Tracy Smothers, build from Nashville, Italy, Southern Italy,
Nice.
as FBI.
That's pretty good. That
Yeah.
was really good. Let's see. We can talk about this as well. Thunder Rosa lost the NWA Championship just the other day.
Hmm?
And then it will turn into something, I guess, on AEW. But she lost the NWA Championship, and then there was rumors of flurry. I don't know if that's how you say stuff, but that's how I say stuff. Of her possibly going to NXT or AEW, or whether or not she was staying in NWA. Today, Billy Corgan went on it was like an Instagram Q&A, and someone asked if they were losing Thunder Rosa, and he mentioned that she's under contract with NWA through 2021. So I don't know what that means necessarily. I'm not good with contracts. I don't understand contracts.
It means she's going to NXT.
I
Clearly,
think
that's
it means, yeah.
You're not reading into it.
No, obviously, right?
So
She's
that's what
definitely
you
going to
gotta
WWE. Kev, what were you about to say?
Nothing.
Oh.
We just
So
scratched
here's
my
how
ears
I do
because
it.
of all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's how I would do it. Tell me what you guys think. Because Sasha just won the title, and everyone thinks that she can't retain a title, or they think that she needs to retain this title, they got to squash that streak and get it out of the way. I say, come tomorrow. Sasha comes to the ring. There's already a local talent in the ring, no entrance. Perhaps La Generica. And they put on a 10-minute clinic, and boom, new champ, La Mira Mira, unmasks, grabs the title, runs to the back. Sasha doesn't retain. The streak lives on, and now we have a new SmackDown Women's Champion, new top heel, Thunder Rosa, introduced in the back by Kayla. Breaking news.
That's some pretty great booking.
That's what I would do. I would even have I would have it so the commentators don't know who she is. Who is this? This is crazy. I can't believe she just took out the boss. She runs to the back. Kayla pulls her aside. Who are you? And she's all, you just saw the lightning. Now you're gonna feel the Thunder Rosa. That's how I would do that. That's how I would do it. If Tony Khan weren't a fucking coward, that's what I would do tomorrow night.
Yes.
See?
That.
What's that?
Why Tony Khan? This is like.
What do you mean he's a coward?
This is gonna make it difficult to clip this.
What?
Give up. No.
He's a coward.
Let's keep
You
going.
don't like my booking?
I mean,
You wouldn't do that?
This is. How many promos will you have with somebody just ending it with them saying their name extended and long?
Well, it's always the first one. It's got to be the first one. That's how you know. Grim Reaper says, like Paige and AJ Lee. That's what I'm saying. Dorkchop says we're going to get NWA versus AEW versus WWE at Survivor Series. I think we could get there with Thunder Rosa as the catalyst. Obviously. Hello. Yeah, duh. So what, you guys don't like my booking? That's what you guys are telling me? You wouldn't do that?
I'd fire your ass. Like if I'm sitting at that booking table, yeah, you can leave.
Do you think she has enough of a following to pull that off?
Yes and no. I think the large audience wouldn't know her, and I think that's why she would get so much heel heat immediately. People would hate her. They'd be like, this fucking nobody just stole the title from Sasha fucking Banks. People would hate her. And then we can get into her background and she can really show up. I would even have where Sasha keeps going for stuff, trying to get the easy win, and Rosa keeps reversing it. Just reverses everything. Dodges stuff, reverses it, and then Sasha starts going like, what the fuck? And then gets fucking rolled up into some sort of submission and taps out.
Can we do the same thing but with Lana? Because we want to be realistic here.
What, you want Lana to win?
Yeah.
God
They're
damn it.
different brands.
Not even like a break the streak. That there was a lot of hotness there with that, Bobby Lashley Lana storyline. Let's do this. Plus, we're giving so much TV time to Miro. Let's put the belt on Lana. Competition, yo.
That's why
Competition's
she's been
good.
going through Tamas.
What's
I love
unfortunate is that somebody's probably pitching this right now, and it's very possible this could happen.
I don't know why you guys are pitching Lana when I just gave you a ready-made Amazing Thunder Rosa debut.
Yeah, but Lana,
Dork chop
like
in
we
the
could
chat.
do everything you're describing exactly, but with
Dork
Lana,
Chops
mask and all.
Yeah.
Dork Chop
Yeah.
says if she went to WWE, they pair her with Matt Riddle and call him Thunder Bro Sa.
Yeah. She could paired with Matt Riddle and she'd be Thunder Brosa. But that would only be for Mixed Match Challenge. It'd happen on Facebook Live.
The best kind of live. Anything
Grim
Facebook
Reaper.
Live.
That works perfectly because Riddle doesn't have a first name anymore.
That's true. Riddle lost his first name today. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, now he's just Riddle.
He's just Riddle now on their website. They dropped the old Matthew.
God damn it, Riddle.
Yeah. Damn it. I hope he comes out in all green. All right. Well, you guys don't have a better idea for Thunder Rosa. Coach says Thunder Rosa will become the next Hakushi.
What if she was the Scream character at Halloween Havoc?
Ooh, that'd be good. Pair her up with the Gargano family. Oh, do you think that's what it is? Do you think it was Indy Hartwell?
Maybe.
Did I just crack the code on that one? I heard a lot of people.
Yeah, some people said Indy.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry. It just hit me, and we're not even there yet. Guys, speaking of Thunder Rosa and your guys' terrible booking, and my genius booking of Thunder Rosa, we do want to plug one more time Mission Pro Wrestling, missionprowrestling.net. We'll be streaming a live Tournament of Hell on TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com on November 6th. I have November 6th written down for Mission Pro. I've used the same note for fucking every week. So if it's wrong, it's been wrong the whole time. Oh, God. This is why we can't get
You're right. Sorry. I don't know why I thought so.
I don't know why.
It's the 6th.
It's the 6th. Guys, check it out. It's an all-women's wrestling program with a lot of the best women's wrestling talent that are unsigned currently right now. And I think it's definitely worth a watch. We did lose two. We lost Red Velvet and Alex Gracia are out of the tournament now, which does spell potential big things ahead with both of them. And I hope whatever it is that they made the right decision for them in their lives. Because here's the deal. I don't understand contracts. So I also don't understand when people go into Thunder Rosa's comments and say, well, I hope you don't go here. I hope you don't go here. Hey, did you know that this company's using the women really poorly? How are we assuming we know more than them about any of that? Or we're acting like Thunder Rosa's never watched any wrestling. That's all I'm saying. The internet wrestling community is getting a little fucking ego.
Yep.
They're
Sorry,
the
guys.
best.
I'm really trying to sell those pointless aggression shirts tonight, I guess.
A little bit.
But basically,
You gotta
go
spit when you
to
say it.
missionprowrestling.net or TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com where it will be streaming live.
Yeah,
On the
and find
6th.
them on Twitter. Isn't it Mission Pro Res?
Yeah, at Mission Pro Res, WRES.
Yeah. So check them out. We're sponsoring it because we like what they're doing. We like to see what they're up to. And maybe after that, we'll see. I mean, I'm just really hoping that by the time that rolls around, Thunder Rosa's a SmackDown Women's Champion. Just to me.
And Dork Chop is gonna get to go live.
Yeah, Dork
as our
Chop in the chat
street
right
crew.
now. He's going down there as a representative of Wrestling on the Rocks.
Thank you, Dope Chop.
Yeah, Dork Chop representing. When also, by the way, because I know he's in there, I haven't heard back from them about the last question, so I'm going to resend it again because it is coming up next week, and we can't wait. We're going to have live on the floor coverage, but after the fact, and mostly not live, but he'll probably take some notes and get back to us later, and we're going to watch it anyways. Is that good?
That was great. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Either way, go support Mission Pro.
Go.
All women's wrestling.
Click the link. Other news, MLW has announced a comeback date. They were going to start again on November 18th. I don't know in what capacity entirely. I don't know if that means that they're going to be on a pay-per-view basis like Primetime Live is, or if they're going to just be back on the way that they were doing it before. So I'm not sure, but they do have a comeback date of November 18th. What do you guys think? MLW is coming back?
Yippee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, no, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Was there anything else in the news that you guys want to make sure you guys covered? Kev, you came in a little late. Anything you had?
No.
Klump, anything else?
No. Nothing.
Awesome.
Really, yeah, nothing really. I mean, I did see evidently possibly just in looking up news, WWE has a new contract with Netflix. That's being reported by some places, but we don't have any direct word from WWE. So yeah.
No, they did. They in their call meeting, they did their stockholders thing. They did announce they're doing a multi-part documentary series on Vince McMahon.
That will be awesome and scary.
Yes,
I'm excited. Yeah.
that is good news.
But even people who hate him are gonna watch it, so it's gonna get a lot of viewership, I feel like.
I wonder what that's going to do to my stock. I hope that I got to go check my stock. I lost a lot this year on them. Yeah, so I mean that's actually pretty cool news. They're in partnership with Netflix to do a mini docu-series on Vince McMahon, and I think that's I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot get enough Vince McMahon stories.
Yeah.
Dork Chop's excited. Looks like. Let's see. Well, if that's it, then we can get into AEW if you guys want.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Woo! All right, AEW, the Halloween show. Here's I was surprised by this. They didn't do anything for Halloween this year. Last year they had like costumes and a Rick and Morty set, and this year they just played it out like a regular Dynamite, which I think was probably a really smart move for two reasons that I have in my mind, and then I'll get your opinion, Klump, because I hear you that you're ready. I think one, it's cool because it solidifies that they don't always have to go for every gimmick, and I think that's great. They can be, I mean, I wouldn't say this was a serious show by any means, but they can also just continue what they're doing without being interrupted or influenced in that way necessarily. I also think that knowing you were going head-to-head against Halloween Havoc in NXT and seeing how far NXT went into the Halloween theme there, anything less would have looked bad. You know what I mean? It would have looked really half-assed. And if they know they couldn't, if they had done what they did last year and had some Rick and Morty masks and a couple talent come out in a couple costumes, it'd have looked stupid. It would have looked bad in my mind. So knowing that you're going head-to-head against a company who's going all fucking in on the Halloween theme, yeah, maybe just sit out and just do your regular thing. Klump, what do you think?
I agree with it. I mean, to me, you want to have to be different than your competition more than anything. I feel like if we had two shows doing this, there'd be those direct comparisons. Honestly, I was thinking that, I was thinking that they were just upset that they didn't have the ability to do a Halloween Havoc, but that's just me.
So it was a bit pouty to you?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think ultimately, to me, I would rather see one show be a Halloween special because there's a lot of gimmickiness to it, and I'd rather see one wrestling show, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. By the way, in the chat, I saw it earlier and it didn't come up. We didn't read it, but Sierra Gator asked why Klump's not wearing a costume. She was kind of disappointed. You do the costume that we practiced.
I also don't believe in Halloween. I wasn't allowed to celebrate it as a kid, so it's kind of offensive that you keep bringing that up.
What do you mean? How do you not believe in it? It happens every year.
Yeah, like, I get that, but I'm not, like, I don't personally celebrate it.
I don't think anyone celebrates it.
I'm just giving you shit. No, I'm lazy. I want to make you uncomfortable. No, but nah.
Klump's like, I wear makeup every other day of the year. I'm not doing it today.
Huh. Today is a fucking day off. Do you know how much goddamn foundation I go through in a week? I don't need to spend another day doing this. Fuck all of it.
You know how hard it is to find makeup remover this time of year?
Oh, God.
Let's see. Dork Chop's going to say this. I'll say last year Wednesday was on the 30th, so it would have been almost weird to not do something. With it being a little earlier in the month this time, you can get away with it. I agree, but was does that make it the 28th? I hear you. I don't know if that was their main thing. I don't know if they thought, it's a little, I don't know, 2 days is pretty tough. Is that 3? But I do hear you. Kev, what did you think?
I just think that they knew it was going to be a losing battle. So why try, basically?
Yeah, on that one, I think Klump hit it on the head, too, where if you had done it, you would have drawn comparison. Because now you had 2 separate shows that looked in every way different, you're actually going to have a lot less comparisons between these 2 shows.
No, they're just stuck with the town hall.
Oh, go ahead.
No, she said it.
I was going to say, like, you'll have the situation where people will ultimately say, well, I mean, clearly they're just doing what WWE's already doing because they're established, you know, and that's, to your average fan, I get it. So, you know, you don't, I like some Halloween things, but I also get annoyed when it's just slapped together, because last year's Halloween event, it was just costumes, and that's fine, but when you're going up against something that's going ham on it, okay, we got to do more than costumes, or let's just not do it, you know? Yeah. Like, if you're going to have a King of the Hill Halloween special right after Treehouse of Horror, it's kind of weird. Like, oh, so Hank Hill's, they're just talking about Halloween? Oh, everything's talking about Halloween? But Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, I take offense to you insinuating I just slapped my costume together while Kevlar put forth all the effort. I don't know where you're coming from with that, but I felt it.
I mean, literally, you told me my costume was to make my mouth look like a butthole, so.
And it worked, dude. You nailed it. Yeah. I've never seen someone do such a good job.
Yeah, right here, 1970s.
Okay, moving on.
Let me get some chocolate syrup and it'll be a rough day.
Oh, make that mocha.
Give it the good old Great Muda mist.
Oh God!
You guys are
the brown mist is the most dangerous.
If Ace Ventura was Great Muda.
All right, so the show.
But see, going back to the AEW and the NXT thing, I think it makes AEW look, scared basically, because they did something last year, and then for them not to do anything this year at all, it just, I don't know.
Bunch of punk bitches.
Tony Khan's a coward.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I don't think that's the impression I got, because I just felt it was more like, I mean, for one, it could be that same line they keep giving is that they listen to their fans. Maybe it didn't go over as well as they thought it would. Maybe last year they did it and they're like, you know what, that was not as well received as we thought it would be. I don't know that it made them look scared, but I do think it made them stand out. I felt like we definitely saw 2 different shows, and I think that the more and more we talk about it, and the more that we think that the kind of idea of the Wednesday night wars is like silly in general, because I don't feel like we're watching 2 of the same shows anyways. This was a way that I think actually set them apart a little bit more on a night that could have drawn a lot of comparisons. And I thought it was a smart move. I thought it was a good move. Yeah, that was a way to do it.
I agree with you.
Grim Reaper in the chat is saying, hold on. Halloween Havoc was promoted for a month with big matches. AEW's Big Bullet was Le Dinner Debonair last week. That's true. And it says AEW was smart to not go head-to-head, which is true that Halloween Havoc, they've been talking about for a month that it's going to be this Halloween Spectacular. And then all AEW been promoting was last week saying, oh, next week we're going to do Town Hall, which they didn't even mention the Town Hall on last week's show. It was just the last couple days. So, yeah, that's true.
Isn't it they're like second or third of these weird political events? And I'll say that, like, they've done, like, they did something during the primaries as, like, a debate. Like, I don't know, man. I don't... I'll knock AEW on that one because I feel like it's if you're gonna do it, go all out. If you want to try and make fun of it, go all out. And it kind of feels half butt or like half-assed. If you, I don't know why I said half butt. I don't know why I thought I had to censor myself like we're on the fucking WWE network for podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, I
thought I was on the New Day pod. I thought I was more important than I am. Okay, I'm sorry.
He's really into this costume.
Yeah. But it feels like if you're not going to do it, then don't go at all, because then you're, to me, in doing a town hall, like, oh, cool, we're going to remind you of the situation that a lot of people find very difficult to talk about and go into, and it just felt half done, you know?
Yeah.
And weird. Yeah.
Like they were doing it, but they weren't. I get you. Dorkchop did say in the chat, as someone who likes Klump and could give two fucks about Halloween, personally, I'm fine with it. Talking about you not wearing a costume.
Thank you, Dorkchop. It's in respect to my beliefs that I don't wear a costume today.
Which is your belief is that you just didn't want to. You just believed you didn't want to.
I believe in the god of laziness. My holidays every day. That's.
I pray to happenstance every day. For sure. And then Dorkchop says in the chat,
so I don't have to wipe anymore.
I'm glad they aren't going heavy-handed with the political stuff. That would just piss people off. A jab here and there would be good, though. The debate and town hall segments were both pretty great in his opinion. Yeah, because I guess that it's... I mean, wrestling's always been topical, right? It's always been relevant to what's happening in pop culture one way or the other. So not to say that politics is pop culture, but right now it kind of feels like it is. Mm-hmm. So I guess like having an acknowledgement and a satire of it isn't the worst thing. And it also goes into play with what I've been saying for weeks. Saturday Night Live Dynamite. Like, yeah, sketch comedy is going to talk about politics in their own way, and this feels a lot like sketch comedy wrestling. So I think it actually kind of is on brand for them, to be honest.
To an extent. I mean, like, I think if you're going to do that, though, maybe go into it more, because it didn't feel like a poke or a jab. It just felt like, I don't know, it felt rather amateur. Like, there's a point of going too far. Like, WWE, I remember for 2 separate presidential events, they had impersonators wrestle, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad they stopped doing that.
It's... Well, I kind of am, because to me, I think, yeah, it is like a circus. It is a bit much, but if you're not going to go all into it, then don't do it, you know? Because it's just... Can
you imagine a Trump versus Biden with a blood spot?
Oh, God.
You know?
Pence versus Harris with a fly?
Yeah. Well, guys, what do you think overall of the show? If that's how you felt about the presentation of it kind of standing on its own, which I thought was a very good thing, what did you think about the show in general? Kev, any highlights you want to definitely talk about?
Nothing that really stood out, I don't think.
Did you like this Orange Cassidy Cody match more or less or the same as the last one?
Kind of the same. Like the last one, I think Cassidy like kind of showed he was a little fiercer, and this one he wasn't as gimmicky, even though he still was. I'm just not a fan of Orange Cassidy, so seeing him out there really, yeah.
I like this one a little bit less because I think that the lumberjack match, I mean, I guess I don't know what I was thinking because it's a gimmick match and it has to be gimmicky, but I felt like it was a little too comical. But there's some of that stuff that you actually liked, right, Klump?
Yeah, like I liked the lumberjack part where he kind of landed, and it was like in a spot where he got caught by a good guy who paused and was like, "Wait, no, you're not my good guy." And you tossed him. Like I thought that was good. I did like seeing the Gun Club clear house because you have Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn. They've kind of been sitting there, so it'll be neat to see Dark Order versus Gun Club match with Cody. I'm cool with that. It wasn't. Yeah, and it wasn't a bad Orange Cassidy match. I think the challenge of an Orange Cassidy match is working around him. So this wasn't bad. I think it got more out of Orange Cassidy than the Mimosa match.
Yes, I agree with that. I didn't not like the match in general. I just think I liked the other one more. And I felt like maybe because this one was, again, I get lost in like how cartoony we have to make every single segment, and this was already drowning in it. So for me, I think I like the other one because it was one I could go back and watch as more of a wrestling match. This is another cartoony match. It felt like a little bit, but it was still good. I felt like they both showed up. Go ahead, Kev.
I was just going to say the only thing that got me also with this match is it was the most confusing lumberjack match I've seen.
Yeah.
Because, they had good guys and bad guys, faces and heels. And to me, Cody and Orange Cassidy are both faces. So to even have the heel section out there just, to me, really didn't make any sense at all.
They also weren't doing a lot of the spots that you typically would see, and I don't know if that's good or bad, where like someone gets thrown out and then they're getting beat up out there. Like they really were, the Lumberjacks in this case were the most like true to form that I think, like the most responsible with their responsibilities that I've ever seen in a Lumberjack match, where they're like, you should get back in the ring, man. Go ahead. Let's get you back in the ring. Let's get you back over there. Where like most of the time we see that people are just beating the shit out of each other on the outside, and it's like, it's not good to go on the outside. This one was just like, okay, I fell out into the outside, and now I got to get my things together and go back in. Like it was a little weird in that regard for sure.
But see, the other thing is that, there were, a couple cheap shots there, and like the best friends, are right next to, what's his name? Like Arn Anderson and Dustin, and, one would take a cheap shot while the other two just like looked at him. Mm-hmm. And to me, that didn't make any sense. Like that's still your guy, just because you're right next. You're on the face side doesn't mean you shouldn't be pushing each other. At least not maybe not throwing hands and stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, it was a situation.
It did feel a lot like everybody had their spots they had to do, and it didn't all necessarily have to make sense. But it's like, okay, this is where we do this bit. Everyone felt like they were waiting for their thing. There's a few things going on in the chat real quick here. Grim Reaper says, smack down your vote. That would be better than all the make sure you vote notifications and commercials. Actually, I would be okay with that for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blue Boyd said the town hall went a bit long. I think we're going to go over that next. Dorkchap says it was long. I agree. I said it with the watch along. The Bischoff segment had one question too many. Blue Boyd, I'm too picky with acting, though. I think if people aren't great or natural actors, give them shorter lines. Dorkchap says the first match was far better, so it was a slight letdown is all. Cody winning by the benefit of cheating only furthers his character, though, even if he didn't, quote, see it in kayfabe. Maybe. I think it weakens his character some, just because if he continuously can't win against Cassidy, who I don't think Cassidy's been shown to be a force by any means. Like he, by character alone, but not by like, I mean, even the win against Jericho, I don't think was all that much because he fell into orange juice. It didn't feel like a definitive thing where Cody's been kind of, I don't know, I guess he's already been teetering on the weakness. And so if he can't beat Cassidy without cheating, I just think that Cody doesn't look strong in this organization at this point. And, Cody keeps showing heel tendencies, Dorkchop says. He goes, I likes all the teases. All the fighting on the outside was the Lumberjacks fighting each other, and he laughed. And that was it. Yeah, they fought each other, but they weren't touching the guys in the match. Grimber said, do you ever see Orange Cassidy turning heel on Cody, maybe after their third match, and he just gets frustrated from losing? I don't think the Orange Cassidy doing anything to Cody would make him heel.
Yeah. He's too over.
With that crowd, yeah. With that
And that's
audience,
not-
it doesn't matter what he does. They're gonna cheer it because he's their favorite joke. So whatever he does is yay. It's
Yeah.
so great. No matter what he does, where he is, where he comes from, people see him and they just cheer and laugh and say, haha, look, it's Orange Cassidy again, yay. So he could legitimately just stab a guy with a knife a few times and they go, ha ha, Orange Cassidy, am I right? I feel like.
Freshly squeezed.
We need more stabbing on TV, just period.
Get that juice. Yeah, I'm never against a little bit of stabbings, but I don't see Orange Cassidy doing anything that would effectively make him a heel, other than the fact that this audience is very accepting of what they're told to think, which is a weird thing to say, I know, because everyone thinks that the WWE tries to tell you who you have to like and who you don't, but AEW is doing the same thing. I mean, look at MJF and look at Jericho. As soon as their music hits, everyone cheers, but once they come out, the crowd goes, oh yeah, boo.
We're supposed to not like this guy.
Yeah, I'm supposed to not like this guy. And then MJF does stuff and says stuff that's funny or that people want to laugh about and say, that was so good, I'm laughing so much. But then when you're there, it's boo, because I'm not supposed to like you. You're being told what to do and how to react to them, and the crowd reacts. So if Orange Cassidy cheated, they go, oh, we're supposed to boo him now? Boo. Like, they play along. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little mean. I don't know. Grimmer says agreed, and then Dorkchip says New Jack is all elite. Dude is if he got stabbed, he would be New Jack.
Yeah.
I got so stoked, dude. I was like, oh my god, did they just announce that? I was like, that'd be so good.
Oh no.
He just walks out there, I want a mimosa match, and Jericho's like, I don't think that's a good idea.
We're gonna test Tony Khan's fandom VCW.
Yeah. How much of a fan are you really, though? What did you guys think about what I was saying there? We'll go to Kev.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I just, like I said, I don't know. AEW just, this, like I said, I was just completely drawn out from this shit. And I wasn't a fan of it, so I kind of just, passed on it, really.
I got you. Klump?
I mean, to me, like, I think overall, yeah, it was. I agree with you in terms of the match. I think it was, for what it is, it's good. Cody does need definitive wins. Cassidy, I don't know if he looks. I agree. I don't know if he looks strong. I think he's over. So to this fan base, it's more like, oh my god, awesome, we get to see this. But is it helping anyone long term? Or what would be better, this or a match between Cody and Wardlow, or Cody and somebody who has it? Which I will say, that's my next thing I want to throw on Dynamite. That I really liked the Wardlow match.
Wardlow and Page was fucking good, dude.
And it was super smart for building up Page, because Wardlow has it for them, if we're going with records, a really good record in terms of how he's been in matches, and he's still pretty protected. So having Page go over this guy who looks fucking great, hell yeah, builds him up, and he, really establishes that this point for Page. And then Kenny and Penta was a great match. I think it was a little bit at times too. It's too much focused on maybe the weaker points, I think, that you don't like in Kenny, but I think it was a good match. I think both of these guys at the end of the week came out looking good and looking strong.
Yeah, and it's building towards that story, which, I mean, obviously we've been suspecting all along, and we said it during the thing, well, clearly we're going this way, and I think they're doing a good job of walking it through, telling it through. And I think that of all the things that people say to forgive AEW about because they're a young company, this is the kind of thing that they need to be doing, that I think is the stuff that you forgive them on the most, right? Is that predictability, obvious storytelling mechanics and stuff is the kind of stuff that, to me, you say, well, they're young and they're trying to build a foundation. I don't feel that that's the same thing when it comes to, like, not handling injuries very well. You know what I mean? I feel like these are the times where you go, oh yeah, it was predictable and it seemed obvious and it was all that stuff, but it's a young company building a strong foundation so they have something to build within down the line. This is exactly that. This tournament is that, and I think it's awesome. I love seeing it play through. Dorkshop says Wardlow and Page was excellent. I love both of them a lot. Wardlow does the big bad quiet beast character well. Mm-hmm. The tease of him turning on MJF has been excellent as well.
Yeah.
I feel like the Wardlow MJF stuff is so hot and cold to me. Like they're associated, they're not. He's there, he's not. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I think of them as a unit even. Like anytime MJF comes out and Wardlow's with him, I go, oh yeah, he's with him sometimes. I don't think of them as a solid unit.
I think that's what MJF's like they've done with MJF's generally. Like it was Wardlow, it was the Butcher and the Blade. Like we're relying very heavily on people establishing people through tangential association, but then after you're like, wait, what are you? You know?
Yeah.
Because then they're suddenly separate, and that's cool and all, but like, if there's not a blow-off and they kind of fall away, then where do they stand and what's the importance of them, you know? Like, it makes them just appear like other 2-bit players.
And if Wardlow turns an MJF, who turns babyface?
My thought, I don't think MJF would work as a face. Yeah, he's a very over heel, but I don't think he could work as a face, you know?
I mean, I feel like he's skilled enough. He probably could pull it off. We just don't see it. I'm just saying, like, he's got the raw talent that I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's actually very good at that bit. Does that make sense? Kev, what do you think?
I think it just all depends on, you know, his whole thing with Inner Circle. I think, you know, I don't know why, but I've been thinking MJF has been trying to get an Inner Circle, and then they're actually going to take Wardlow, that's what's going to separate them.
I would like that. I'd like that a lot. What do you think of the Wardlow Page match? Oh, go ahead.
I loved it. I thought that's what I was going to. You know, I love that match. I thought, you know, both of them did really well. You know, and truthfully, I'm not a big fan of MJF. I see what people like in him, but I almost think at this point, MJF's kind of holding Wardlow back a little bit.
I do think that Wardlow is better than we see. And I think that's probably for a number of factors. But yeah, I don't think being in MJF's shadow is helping the Wardlow character much. But I also think that they're trying to focus on core characters right now, so you can get more dynamic turns and twists later. I do think for the first time since it started, I think we are starting to see focus build in ways where it's all like, okay, they're trying to build character foundations at this point, where it felt like before it was just Tony Khan going nuts saying, I want to see this person wrestle this person. I've never seen this person wrestle this person. And it was just like this wild, create a wrestler, create your own universe kind of booking. And I feel like now it's all like, you know what? Let's go this direction with a few things and see if we can tell a story for a while. And so it's really cool to see that starting to pan out. I feel like, at least. What do you think?
I agree with that. I think I agree with that. Like in terms of just building it like that, I like the way you're putting it.
Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
Perfect.
You know,
perfect. You guys shit on my Sasha Banks booking. I was gonna make you agree with something.
Thunder Rosa.
Cutting it there. Thunder Rosa.
7.
Yeah.
It's you rile my ass up before we start with things, you're gonna get Eric not being the funnest person. You got to give me some time to cool down.
You're always hot. I've always said that.
When you start, when we have a pre podcast discussion like we did, yeah.
Yeah, let's sit down and talk for a while. All right, let's have some fun.
Let's throw things out right before we start. Okay.
Dude, Matt Sydal finally came back and did not crush his own neck. That was cool. Yeah. I did like his match with Eddie Kingston,
his
though.
best efforts.
Yeah. What'd you think with his Eddie Kingston spot?
I'm glad Eddie won. I'm glad they're keeping Eddie strong. They need to keep Eddie strong. And Matt didn't do bad. It was, I mean, it was, I think, a great way of just, yeah, Eddie's going to win this. And, you know, look good, look mean and with somebody with a little bit of name value, which yes, in this case for what Eddie's in, just squash.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I thought it was a little weird at the end. He's like screaming, "Sorry, Mox." And you're
Yeah,
like,
I
"Well,
was
you
gonna say.
You haven't done anything yet."
I was gonna
Go
say
ahead,
that.
Kev.
Yeah, where he was referring to Seidel as Moxley, and sorry, and it's like it just felt off. Like if he was like, "Hey, Moxley, this is gonna be you," cool, I understand.
Yeah.
But for him to sit there and like, sorry, like, it almost made him look dumb.
I
think what it is Kingston's like his character. He's the Mad King. Like they're really leaning in on that. So the idea of like, I'm going to punish you when I win, and it's going to be so bad I feel bad for it. So he's trying to encapsulate. I think it's a creative way of doing it, because we hear a lot of promos historically where it's like, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to you with this person. I'm just going to refer to this person as you as I'm fucking them up. I like that.
Right. I think that would have been. It might have stuck a little bit more if instead of just saying "I'm sorry, Mox," if he had said something along the lines of like, "I'm sorry, Mox, that you're gonna have to live through the same thing, or that you're barely gonna survive that." Real quick before we go to Kev, producer had something she wanted to say.
Oh, I was actually just gonna agree with Klump that it sounded like they were trying to piggyback off of the name, the Mad, or the kind of crazy, he's unstable King. But it did seem like what you just said, that we were kind of missing a line or two. And I wouldn't be shocked if we missed that in part of one of the promos that King made, because I did notice that earlier they were saying that when his promo was happening, they would cut off. So I do wonder if maybe that was in one of the longer ones that we didn't see, because I felt like there was just a little piece that was missing.
Yeah. Surprising turn of events. Everyone agreeing with Klump tonight. Kevlar, what were you going to say?
Well, no, kind of the same thing. Like, I understand where, if that's their angle that they're going for, like, as a competitor, you want it as, your rival and give it all out. Like, hey, I want to go for it. And if he's, picturing him as Moxley and, stuff like that, I think the promo at the beginning, you refer to him as Moxley. Hey, Moxley, when you come down here right now, I'm going to kick your ass, this and that. And, start it from there.
Yeah, and every opponent I see I just see Moxley in them. Dorkchop has a question in there. Didn't he also use the Moxley submission to end the match? I don't think that's the name of it, but yes, it was the Moxley submission. The Mox script, I'll call it. I did think that was a nice touch, too, because it has a little bit of that anything you can do, I can do better kind of a vibe going. And I was like, that's cool. Yeah. I'm into that. Klump, anything you want to throw in there?
No, I'm good with that.
Yeah, now that everyone's agreeing with you, now you're good with it. If you go to WrestlingOnTheRocks.com or ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingOnTheRocks, you can pick up your Pointless Aggression t-shirts.
Pointless aggression.
Pointless aggression. Sorry. Did you guys? Let's just talk about it. The town hall. Did either of you guys really like the town hall meeting? I know that Dorkchop liked it. Thought it was a question too long. Blue Boy thought it was a little long. I thought it was way too long, and I didn't think any of the questions came off very well at all. Everyone seemed, God, for a place that is going constantly about how it's all about the creative freedom of the talent and they're not scripted and no one's scripted. Every segment with MJF and Jericho comes off so heavily scripted.
Yeah.
So heavily scripted. It doesn't sound natural at all from anyone involved. Although I think Tony Schiavone said I think he told Jericho to shut up off the fly. And for a moment I was like, oh, Schiavone shutting down Jericho. I'm all right with this. But Kevlar, what did you think of it?
I truthfully didn't like it at all. Like, I understand that, they're trying to make, a political jab kind of thing and stuff, but I just thought it was, I didn't like it. It was cool to see Eric Bischoff, but outside of that, like, pretty much from top to bottom, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, well, comedy's hard. Klump, what did you think of the segment? I know Dork Chop loved it, and so I wish he would call in or something. I don't know if we do call-in shows anymore. But
Yeah, it's gonna be all of us just shitting on this. The only positive I'll say is it's creative, but I think it's like I go back to it's kind of half-assed. It doesn't feel pushed. And I mean, also, if I'm honest, like what was thrown out here, the idea of like the ending question with Bischoff that you're a prima donna that turns everyone on each other. What's the point of that? The serves really. I still don't quite understand what the goal of this is. Why is it these weird date meeting town halls to have one person convince the other to join or that he deserves to join? It doesn't make sense to me. Like the whole purpose of it, I just find dead on arrival. Like, okay, so you want to be in the group, but you're this big heel and you want to be in the group, and you're trying to convince them and pander. Like, who the fuck cares? So
yeah,
an idea of a match, like I get the goal of this was to build a match between MJF and Jericho. That's awesome. Wouldn't it have been better if?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm bulldozing over you. Fuck off.
No, get it.
Yeah. What if, rather than try and be creative and shitty at being creative, we did a standard feud? Like, yeah, I'm joining. Jericho asks him to join. He joins, and then they join, and Jericho MJF takes over. Kenneth overthrows Jericho, and then they have a feud. That makes sense to me. Jericho becomes a face, MJF stays a heel, or Jericho brings MJF in and then throws MJF out, becomes a thing. I don't think you ever really deserved it. You're just some stupid kid, and then MJF turns face. They're more traditional, but I think they make more sense. Or if we're going to go down this pathway, fuck it. MJF wants to join in. He wants to take it over. And so they're having debates because the inner circle's torn. Some people want MJF in. And the match is not who's going to be in it, but who's going to control it.
Yeah.
I could see the town halls with that instead of just, trying to get in. Because, like Klump said, like, I just don't get it from the beginning on, hey, let me in. We're going to have this town hall. Luchasaurus is asking questions. Bischoff's asking questions. It's either just, he's in with us, or no, he's not.
Yeah.
And then everyone who came up to ask a question was coming in to tell a joke. So it wasn't even like a building thing. It was like, all right, here's how this person's going to tell their joke. This person's going to tell their joke. It's going to lead to this joke. Like the whole thing was a sketch comedy scene. And I felt like because it dragged on so long that it ended with a fucking whoopee cushion announcement that Jericho versus MJF is going to happen with actually no real build. I know people are going to try and say, what are you talking about? They've been building MJF and Jericho for weeks, but they haven't. They've been building Jericho and MJF trying to form a friendship for weeks. And now we're going to get this weird fucking wet fart of an announcement that I'll tell you what, if you beat me in a match, then you're in. There doesn't feel like there's any reason to get hyped up or think that it's going to be a serious brawl. Or he's trying to be your friend. Like, it's the weirdest shit to me. And no one else wants him in the thing. So like you said, there's no split decision here.
Mm-hmm. If they went further with it, like, again, you're half-assing this. If you went further with it and made it a joke about this, like, I could get it. Like, I could be behind it if you went all in that the joke is, like, why would I want to be in this? Like, have somebody acknowledge it so you're like, it's out in the open. I'm cool with that. But it doesn't feel like a subtle jab. It doesn't feel like something meta or outlandish. It feels lazy. It feels like we don't know what we're doing. And I think part of this also, like, to go back to, an adage of wrestling is that many of the best wrestling characters and stories are based on real-life events turned up to 11. Yeah. This, because it's done in this way, it doesn't feel like real life. I don't know what's being turned up to 11, but it's certainly not anything that's relatable. So I'm just there thinking, like, what's the end goal of this? Do you lose or you win? And somebody just goes, I guess I'm not in. Like, look, okay, cool. I'll do something else. Or, awesome, I'm in here. I get to be your buddy. Like, it's weird.
Yep. Now, Lunar's in the chat saying hi and cheers, which is good to see Lunar come through. Dork Chop says, I agree with the Full Gear match feeling meh. And he goes, like, I want it because I like them both and I want to see the match, but agreed, it seems like that they are two dickheads trying to be friends, not building to a match. Grim Reaper says, is this a retread of Jericho and KO? Do you see a vicious attack like they did at the Festival of Friendship? No, here's what I think. I think Eric Bischoff has been foreshadowing all along. You know what we're going to see at Full Gear?
NWA.
The second ever finger poke at Doom. I'm calling it right now. You heard it here first. Finger poke at Doom. MJF finger poking Jericho. He goes down. They all celebrate. Woo! A bunch of fake garbage is thrown into the ring because no one really does that anymore. But because they have only their own staff right there, they're going to have pre-set up garbage and just going to throw it in. And then probably Tony Schiavone comes down with a bald cap and goes, how could you?
I'll never watch wrestling again.
I kind of want to see it.
Kev's like, wait a second, I'm getting hyped up.
Yeah.
And then the next show, Eric, did you watch? No, Kevin, I love this now. God.
Yeah. This is my shit.
2 years later, so did you see this in NXT? I don't watch wrestling. I don't even know why I'm on here anymore.
Yeah. How did you get my number? I've changed it. Your FaceTime still linked to your email, dork. Dork Chop loves it. Says finger poke of doom. Blue Grim Reaper's head. He said, "Whoa." He said people be so mad, dude. I'm telling you, that's where I think this is going. And if it does, I know I've been pitching a lot to work for Vince, but I'll work for AEW, guys. I will do it.
I'll settle.
I will settle.
I want to see your cover letter. Just is it shitting on them 3 paragraphs and I would graciously accept the job.
Yeah, and then it's got that strikeout font, so you can clearly read what it is. It's got the lines through it.
It's just you don't even erase it. It's just drafts of you being like, "Well, this bullshit," like, and it's just a line through. Well, this is bullshit.
Yeah, just like one X over the paragraph. Like, don't read that one.
Yeah. I didn't have enough paper, so I just kept going.
So in my mind, that's where this is going, and that's the only reason I find this to be a success so far. But I like Dorchop does agree that that it does feel like a little bit meh of a feeling towards an actual feud, and here's the reason to me that's a big problem is MJF versus Jericho should be a match everyone's clamoring for and can't wait for and super excited for. And the only people who are people who just kind of like them anyways. This should be the kind of thing that people should be talking about. And no one mentioned it online. People should be saying, oh my God, guys, it's going to happen. But they've done nothing to build this into a match that people actually want to see other than a match that people are accepting as one that they probably would want eventually anyways. Although Dorkchop does say Tony's money is just as green, baby. Klump, you had something you want to throw in on that?
It's not just as green.
Not just as green. Kevlar?
It's not just as green.
Well, it's funny that you bring up the finger poke of doom. Is I actually watched that match today. It like popped up on Facebook.
The fuck?
And I was at work, and I was
What are you
like,
doing?
"Oh yeah." I watched it.
You like wrestling? Fuck you, watch this.
Yeah,
Kevlar's just all like, I like to go back and watch the classics in my spare time.
yeah.
I know a lot of people are watching Guerrero and Ray lately because of the Halloween Havoc anniversary, but I was like, you know what? You know what else was also scary? It had Doom in the name of it.
Yeah, got them into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Everyone in that match is in the Hall of Fame now. So
Yeah.
all right.
Did we lose Klump?
All right. I think
Did
we
he
covered
leave?
most stuff. Although, here's something though that is kind of annoying to me. You have Serena Deeb as the new NWA World Champion, Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the 10 pounds of gold. I apologize. She's got the 8.5 pounds of gold. Serena Deeb defended the NWA title against Layla Hirsch in what was a fantastic match. Great match. With 2 non-NWA talent. I know the NWA and AEW have a working relationship, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they're going with this. It felt weird. And I don't know where they're going with this. Why would you give your title to a company that has no reason to respect it, but has been. So, definitely props to that. They've been absolutely respectful of that title and its lineage and what it means. But you've now put it in the hands of someone not contracted to you, not responsible for your brand, and you've given it to another brand to highlight. It seems a little weird. And if I felt like this was leading towards Serena Deeb having the title on AEW, so every woman in the NWA women's division could have a shot at that title on national TV to highlight the NWA talent, I would say, oh, wow, this is great. This is the NWA trying to recapture back what's theirs. It's a semi-invasion type thing. Your talent took something from us, and we're going to get it back. But she's already defending it against people that no one's ever seen or heard from on national TV or even on much AEW TV. I heard she had a really banger of a match on Dark, but I don't watch Dark. I don't know. It felt weird and a little uncomfortable to me. Kevlar, what do you think?
I mean, from the beginning of AEW, where they said that they were going to bring over, other organizations' belts and talent and stuff like that, I just felt like it was weird and awkward. I'm even seeing, Serena Deeb out there, like, putting on good matches and stuff like that. It's still weird because to me, lately, and I don't watch AEW every week, but I've seen more NWA Women's Championship defense or matches than I have the AEW.
And Dorkchop just said that in the chat too. He said, "Oh damn, I was wondering if it was in November and an anniversary or something was coming up, but no, it was January '94." Talking about the Finger Poke of Doom. But then he says the NWA Women's match on TV and AEW Women's Champ on backstage interview, and kind of does like this emoji of someone putting their hands on their head. 100%. We're seeing more respect given to the NWA World Champion, Women's Champion, and more defenses, and seeing more legitimate work out of them than we are of the company's own. They've put more effort into making sure the NWA Women's Championship looks good than they have building the legacy of their own on, I think, any account. Klump, what do you think?
I agree with that. I can see why. I think even the most diehard of AEW fans would say their weakness has been their women's division. At times it seems like they're utterly incapable of making a women's division. Like, you have people do things. You can get people. True. You have money, but you don't. So it's weird.
They could have strapped the belt. They could have strapped the belt on Serena Deeb, and then Serena Deeb could be the AEW Women's Champion right now, defending their title against Layla Hirsch.
Okay, I'm gonna go back further than that. They could have put There's people. This goes back way further than Serena Deeb. Like, honestly, like, Serena Deeb's not part of my point, but whatever. You could go back way further and just, when you're booking talent, you brought in Awesome Kong, and yes, Awesome Kong had a contract with Glow and maybe couldn't perform. Then why the fuck is she there?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of differences. Why put the money into this person? Bring in other performers. There's other people on the indies you could have brought in, like, or tried to bring in versus who you did. And your usage of the talent's been piss poor.
Yeah.
Bringing in the NWA belt and using it to highlight your talent, yeah, that's awesome. I get it. It's a great way of promoting another company, but it feels like, to me, what you're saying is, hey, they know how to make a women's division, so we're going to use their title to try and promote ours. And in part, I get it, because you can almost say, well, like, I feel like it's a way of building heat without having to build story. We're going to create a championship and say somebody won in another country.
Right.
We don't have to build this
says
up.
He's got to run. Dorkchop, always a pleasure having you come through. Thanks for coming through. Guys, if you want to be part of our chat as well, twitch.tv/wrestling on the rocks. Klump, I agree with what you're saying. I do think that I'm saying that apart from all the mistakes they made that got us here is where we are, and why is this exactly the way we have? If they have invested in Serena Deeb now, and they recognize her as a formidable championship material, and they want to highlight her as a champion on their brand, why not move that investment forward and have your title on her instead of making her make someone else's title look good? You know what I mean? That's what I meant by that. It wasn't like, hey, Serena Deeb is just not. It's they've made a ton of mistakes, but they did invest in Serena, and they do clearly see her as championship material. Why are they holding off on that? You know?
That's fair. I mean, I can get that. I think, like, I don't know. To me, all of it seems meh.
Yeah.
Lack of better putting, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up AEW by talking about real quick the Kenny Omega and Penta match. I know we talked about it briefly before. Producer had something she wanted to say.
Oh, I just also, on the topic of women, I was just really hoping they were going to have more women. I feel like more often than not, we get maybe one women's match, you know, and then you got Kenny's intro with, you know, the women swooping some whatever, the dancers or whatever in little bikinis, and it's just, I don't know, it's always just really disappointing to me is all.
I do think it's a little funny as we start about this match. We can start with the entrance. The women coming out twice now in a row, sweeping with the brooms in bikinis and high heels. No one's complaining about it online. But Raw Underground had like 5 seconds of women dancing who were fully clothed compared to this with neon lights on them, and the internet blew the fuck up. I just think it's a little funny.
Yep,
Double
little
standards.
Yeah, it's all like, hey, this is objectifying, but when AEW does something that's arguably slightly more tacky and objectionable, everyone's all like, yeah, but it's the cleaner though, so you know. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
They were showcasing the brooms.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate JR being a bit more positive when it comes to talking about Serena. Yeah, just how he spoke about her was a bit better.
Yeah, they stopped talking about her being in Pilates and started talking about more other stuff. So I like that as well. I thought he did a good job putting both over the women. The Kenny match, I like that Kenny won. I'll tell you what I would have done, though, is I would have had this been like a 1-minute match where Kenny just fucking dominates and makes a point that he's here, he's back, and he's not fucking around anymore, and catch Penta. Like, cheat, do something. He does something and makes the ref turn the other way, and he low blows Penta and then does the one-winged angel and gets the win in like a minute. And then it's like, this dude's an asshole and a piece of shit, and he just got a shitty-ass win off of one of our favorite guys. I would have done it in a minute because I want Omega walking into this number 1 contender match against Paige looking like a fucking cyborg. That's how I would have done it.
Well, he could have just hit him with that belt that he had.
Yeah, which I also thought was funny because that's like the second time we've seen it ever. He brought it out on this one. I was like, that's weird. Klump, what'd you think?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I don't know if I would have done it like that quick of a squash. I think both of these guys have the ability and talent to have a great match. To make Kenny look heel, maybe, I don't know. Like, I think looking at his stuff in New Japan, like, there'd be long matches, but you never felt like he was out of control. Meaning, like, you know he's gonna win. It's just when does he pull it off, and not like in the sense of like he's gonna win. That's the way it's booked. It's he's in control of the match, and maybe that could have been done here. But I feel like, or in spots like this, I legitimately wonder, was this because we have two people that we don't feel comfortable making either one of them go under for someone else, even though Kenny's done the job for people, you know, in a lot of rougher
and Penta
ways.
was strong enough, he'll be fine. Penta will be fine, especially if he was cheated on.
Well, see, and I think especially with the lead up to this, where Penta advanced by losing, you know, so he shouldn't have even been there to begin with. I think it's an easy way for Omega to advance. I think you put this match, excuse me, where the Hangman Wardlow match was, and have Wardlow and Hangman end the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't like their explanation for injury. I feel like this is a lot of passes are given to AEW at this point. Clearly, Phoenix got knocked out last week. He wasn't out. He was just like concussed. He was moving weird, and he wasn't able to walk right. And it took him a while. He got like the stinger, as they say. But as we've learned from all the studies about CTE, that a stinger is still a minor concussion. So they pulled him from this match. This is a company that continues to ignore the idea that injuries happen. And they brush it under the rug or ignore it or pretend it's not a thing or turn it into a PR flip where it's like, hey, no, everyone's good here. Everyone's good. And in this one, they took Phoenix out of the match because he wasn't cleared medically. And instead of issuing any kind of statement or talking about it in any way, they said that Eddie Kingston asked him a favor. Come on, man, because, imagine it'd be me and Penta. That'd be great. Come on, man. Come on. And you're like, yeah, come on, man. But, like, I didn't like that at all. I was like, this is one more time that they're trying to hide this. And WWE does a lot of shit wrong a lot. But when someone comes out of a match and they're pulled due to injury, they replay that shit. They go, look at this moment right here. That dude got rocked, man. That's why we can't have him in here. You know what I mean? AEW is trying to hide it and pretend it's not happening. Go ahead, Kev.
And look at NXT. What's the dude that broke both of his legs in 6 billion pieces, as McAfee puts it? Yeah. How many times have they referenced him? Yeah. Instead of just saying, oh, he can't compete, this and that. That happened, close to a month ago now? Yeah. And I think almost every show they've referenced it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Klump, what do you think?
I agree with it. I think in the way it's done, you guys are right. Like, there's no reason to hide it other than being afraid of it. And I feel like that thought hangs with this to me. The idea of if you can't be open about your injuries, then why are you hiding, and why do you also claim to be so progressive with so many other things? You got to be, behind the good and the bad, and it doesn't feel like it. Like, I would be positively refreshed, and I feel like the industry and entertainment overall would be positive if you looked at weaknesses that are present in other organizations, and they are there, and you truly did something different. So yeah, this happened. They're hurt. We're going to do this better, rather than make it a storyline event, rather than gimmick a chair, rather than just glaze over it or continue a match. It doesn't look good, and as time goes on, the goodwill that you have as a new company is pretty much eroded to me at this point.
Yeah, my fear is that what's going to happen is someone's going to be significantly injured or worse, and there's going to be nothing but reel after reel after reel of injuries and excuses that from the same company on the way up, that none of them were handled correctly or shown in a good light in any way or addressed appropriately. And that's my fear is what's going to happen is going to go too far, and then there's going to be too much negative evidence on them, and then that's going to be a shit show. And I think that by acknowledging it, like you said, and by stating that, hey, this isn't ballet, hey, don't try this at home, which is something they've never said, but WWE used to put that at the beginning of all their shows. They're just playing it off more and more, saying this person's self-taught. This person taught themselves. They've learned this on their own. The Young Bucks saying, like, we never went to wrestling school. Kenny Omega saying, wrestling school is not for everyone. I just learned in my backyard. And then you're seeing all these significant injuries. They're not telling people not to try it at home because they're supporting the idea that you can just do this anyway. And they ignore the fact that there's a very real, honest, serious danger here. And it's playing out. And something's going to happen. And then they're going to have nothing to fall back on. They're not going to say, well, we've been trying to handle this or we've been trying to do this. It's going to be like, have you?
Yeah, no, you've not.
Yeah, Jericho could donate. He donated to that dude who lost his legs.
Yeah.
The grasshopper guy.
Well,
actually, I don't know if he lost his legs, but they talked about that.
He lost his kneecaps.
His kneecaps are definitely gone. They might not have ever been there from what I saw. But what were you about to say?
We're saying bringing up, don't try this at home and stuff like that. AEW, like you said, could be setting themselves up for failure if, a kid, sees something, does it, and he gets hurt. And then they turn around and sue AEW, and, that could be, a shit show and a half.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. We'll wrap it up on this other thing, just because I was actually curious about your guys' opinions on it. Klump, you may not have actually seen it, so you don't have to comment if you didn't see this snippet. But the FTR and Young Bucks promo, did either of you guys get to see that in its entirety?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Kev, what did you think of it?
I don't know. Like, it doesn't make me excited for their match in any way. And I don't know. Once again, kind of like with Orange Cassidy, like, whenever I see Young Bucks, I kind of just withdraw myself because
Kind of just tune out.
I'm just not into them.
Okay, I mean we don't gotta like rip it apart or go super deep in on it, and that's why Klump, if you didn't get to catch it, that's totally fine. I don't want I don't want to guess on it. I felt like it was way too wordy, and that the Young Bucks are just not good at talking, and that one Young Buck, I forget his name, the one with the fur on his face, he feels very confident that he's an incredibly good speaker, and you could see it all over his face. Even though he was kind of talking in circles and not saying anything, and it's get to the fucking point already, and he really felt like he was Hollywood right there, dude. You could tell, and I was like, come on. This is give the mic to someone else. And then FTR and Tully were all way better, and then they ended up walking out of the interview, and I was like, well, the good guys, the good ones left.
Yeah. I thought that was funny, though.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they did great with that.
Like, yeah. Well, if you're just going to be talking to them, we don't need to be.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was cool. I like that bit. But yeah, I just wondering what you guys thought of the promo on there, because I don't think that the Young Bucks are as over as talkers as they think they is.
Yeah.
Guys, if unless there's anything else you guys want to throw out there about AEW, I'm ready to move on to NXT.
Let's jump in.
Coach says Rambling Rabbit. Oh, Rambling Rabbit could be the Jackson. Lunar did say that he watched that video so many times and it was sick. The guy with the grasshopper legs. I sent it to him as soon as I saw it. Like I saw it and like within seconds it was in his inbox. That's what I slide into GR Lunar's DMs. I was like, and I didn't even comment anything. I just put it in there. Just here. It was amazing.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. NXT Halloween Havoc. Overall, I'll just say that I was surprised at how much I enjoyed the production of it and the visual of it. They always do a good job with production. Let's not just throw that in the like I don't. But I felt with In Your House, I really liked it because of the set. But there wasn't a lot more of it than the set. And Great American Bash, it was mostly just kind of a bit of a set. And I thought Halloween Havoc, honestly, people were even throwing up pictures of old Halloween Havoc things. It was like, oh, they might have like a thing here or there. I felt they did the whole building. And I thought they did an awesome job. Oh, yeah. Nuts with it. Even when the Gargano match went to the back and you could see like some of the dumpsters, you could see like Halloween decoration boxes in some of the garbage cans and stuff. I was like, they're just setting up. But yeah, I was really impressed top to bottom with the production, with the visual, with Shotzi Blackheart as a host. I thought she would be fun. I didn't think she was going to deliver on that level, though. I thought she was fantastic. This was the first time seeing Shotzi over and over again, and I thought, Shotzi's a star, dude. Like, she's good. I've liked her, and I've thought that her character is very thought out. But this was when I was all like, oh, yeah, Shotzi's like, she's just a straight up performer. She's here. That was my long-winded way to say that I liked the set and all that. What did you guys think, Kev?
I was just gonna say also the ring apron. Whoever did the graphics on the ring apron did a great job. It was 3D to me.
Yeah.
Like the little pumpkins on the side, the evil pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns, and like for a second there, I thought it was the light up board, and then they like moved it, and I was like, holy shit, like that looks awesome. And I paused it and I just kind of studied the apron for a minute.
Yeah, that's dope. It's awesome. Klump, what'd you think?
From what I saw, I liked the level they put into it, the amount of variation. Like, this was a pay-per-view for this year, and they did it on a Wednesday, and I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved
that's a good point.
the unique entrances, the unique gear everyone had. Like, they went all out. Like, they made this a WrestleMania in many ways. You know,
They did. There's been other ones like Great American Bash where we thought, like, apart from its name and the cards, it didn't feel quite like a pay-per-view on a Wednesday. This one, you're right, it definitely did. It absolutely did.
Yeah.
It's a good call. Coach in the chat says Shotzi was a better host than Rocket at Mania 27. Didn't he twerk with Kofi though? Or maybe that was Sean. Yeah, no, I liked all that set. The wheel. Remember, I said before, if it's a digital wheel, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
It was a physical wheel.
They
It was
listened to
gimmicked, but it was physical.
it.
Yeah. I didn't see the first spin. I meant to watch the very beginning of it, and I kind of forgot, but I missed the first, 10 minutes. And I heard the first spin. It kind of stops real abruptly. Like, like, okay.
Yeah. It's like going, and all of a sudden it's like...
Just, hits the stick.
Yeah.
I know the final spin, you could see Shotzi's hand on the side of the wheel. Like, she's just, petting it. And she's slowing it down so it'll stop at the right spot. I was like, okay.
Well, see, I was looking at that. I didn't know if she was actually touching it. It looked like she was kind of... Was she? Yeah.
Yeah, she was doing a really good job. She was trying to make you guess, but I'm telling you that was on there.
The other thing is I meant to go back, but did EO come out with the belt on? Or with the belt? Or was it already hanging up top? Yeah.
Maybe she did, and they just tossed it to the side and had a second one up top.
Yeah. Because, I mean, pointing out all the little things that I've liked that WWE's done lately, if they didn't have her come out with the belt and then, Shotzi spins the wheel and, the belt's up there, it's like, that kind of is disappointing.
Yeah, wait a second. Man, what do you think about Johnny Gargano getting the North American title? I'll tell you, I know a lot of people were excited about it. I wasn't. Just not invested in that character, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like, this is one of those matches where I like both talents, so whichever way it went, I was kind of okay with. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah. Klump?
I liked it. I think Johnny's he's gonna be an NXT permanent. That's okay. So I think it's an established talent. It's a good way to keep that belt strong. So him winning it, yeah, I get that. That said, I think Damian Priest lost it soon, but I also don't see Damian Priest being at I see him going toward the NXT belt soon, or being on the main roster. This isn't the end of him, so yeah, I'm cool with it.
I could see that. I'm under the camp. I do think Damian Priest lost that belt way too soon. I think that he could have held that longer. Seeing him lose it makes me think more than anything, or hope, I guess, that he's actually just removed from NXT. I hope he just goes on to the main roster. I hope that he ends up on Retribution. So there. I'm just kidding.
Retribution's half dead. Let it go.
Yeah. I hope that he goes into a thing that Eric will just never give a fuck about. Cool.
No, he can go in as the mole. He'll go in there with like not a very good mask, and everyone looks at him all the time, and then he just beats the shit out of all of them.
That would imply that somebody has a very good mask.
Dude,
It's even worse.
So good. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, I just want Damian Priest to move up. If he's not going to be holding a title for a long time, I don't think it's doing him any favors to be flopping around down there. And I just don't. I think he's got a lot of big star potential, and we could see him in some good stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see. Pat McAfee had that promo. I loved it. I'm a fan of Pat McAfee.
Oh, so great. Yeah, he's awesome.
Fucking future Hall of Famer right there.
The only kicker I've ever liked.
I like that one from the Ace Ventura movie.
Ray Finkel?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dan Marino.
He's a quarterback.
The only thing Dan Marino did is kick his own fat ass back into shape.
Huh.
Nutrisystem.
All right. Sponsorships, got it.
He wasn't even that fat. It was weird. It's like, I'm this. You weren't like 700 pounds or something, champ. You lost 30 pounds. Why are you the spokesperson? You cut weight.
Yeah. Did you stop working out for like the holidays? Is that what this is?
Dan, so we're going to do this, but, just like in advance. Just kind of like you retired a few years ago. You're really in playing shape. Just quit running for a bit. Okay. Cool. Like we'll give you a couple of gift cards to Don Shula Steakhouse. Like eat a lot, and then cool.
Nice. Lunar has an idea. Kayfabe Damian Priest as a Samoan. Put him in the Roman Reigns faction.
Oh no! Don't do that.
He can be part of Bloodline one way or another.
God damn it!
He's gotta get the tattoos. No one will know the difference. I worked for Yoko.
Yeah.
And just fucking Samoa Joe sitting there at commentary like, am I fucking chopped liver?
He's like, what the fuck, man? Can you imagine
You just gotta get
Roman,
Samoans.
and you just hear Samoa Joe off mic just like, what the fuck?
Motherfucker.
And the coach says,
in his headset, we heard Samoans don't have to be fat. God damn it!
Yeah. God. Coach says, hey, I was a semi-pro field goal kicker.
Hey.
What? Semi-pro? You only get paid part of the time? Is it like a part-time gig? Let's see. Santos and Jake Atlas. I liked that match, actually. But the Haunted House of Terror with Cameron Grimes and Dexter Loomis. What did you think of this, Kev? Michael Hayes was in it. Who was the guy driving the van?
Not Michael Hayes.
Darby Allin.
I don't know. He looked familiar.
No, I didn't get a good look at him. But wait,
Did you say Lou Ferrigno?
Kyle, right?
About Kyle O'Reilly getting his ass kicked by Pete Dunne?
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty cool. I like Pete Dunne a lot. Go ahead. Talk about it, Kev.
I was just
Talk
excited
about it
that
so
Pete
goddamn
Dunne.
bad.
Pete Dunne, him coming back and, looking like he's going to save Kyle O'Reilly, then hits him with the chair, and he's a part of the McAfee faction, and then, it just looks like he's putting out these, or recruiting these just bruisers. Like, I want to see that Thatcher over there with him.
Oh, dude, what a mean faction that would be.
Yeah, just mean motherfuckers that, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I'd add Thatcher into that. You have Thatcher, Pete Dunne, the tag team was it, and then you got Pat McAfee. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 5. That's enough for the War Games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 37.
Yeah.
No, Pete looked fantastic too. Like I was like, "Fuck, Pete!" Like,
Yeah,
did you just like drink protein shakes and run?
Yeah. Producer said when he comes out, she goes, "I bet he's got 6-pack abs now."
Oh my god, I didn't say it like that.
They don't compare to Ricochet, but
yeah, there ain't no Ricochet down there. I can tell you that right now. But
God damn it!
I was
probably got nothing to
excited.
scoff
I
at.
was excited to see him back because he's one of my favorites, and for a long time, I hated seeing him because he would lose. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see him finally kicking some ass and like ending up on top.
Yeah.
Stop. Never mind. Move on.
What? I didn't even say anything. What'd I say? Hand it up on top.
Stop. I'm gonna mute you.
All right, guys. All right.
Okay.
I was super excited to see Pete Dunne back and looking jacked. Dude's ready to punch some teeth and break some fingers.
Mm-hmm. Do something with fingers.
Yeah.
Magic
Pete,
fingers.
fingers done.
Bruiser fingers. What? I don't know.
Only if Tom Green does his intro music.
Oh, that'd be so funny. I mean, Poppy was there, and her mic didn't even work. So you could do Tom Green.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Haunted House of Terrors with Cameron Grimes and Dexter Loomis?
I liked the beginning where Cameron Grimes was like pleading with Regal not to make him go out there.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I really didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
Explain. Just talk about it. Tell me why you didn't like it.
You turd.
It just like, I just wasn't like, it didn't draw me in. Like at first it was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Michael P.S. Hayes, does his spot. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be cool. And then, they're going through this house and there's weird zombies and refs and Cameron Dexter's sister. And it was just like weird. It felt like, remember that old movie with Jenna Jameson killing zombies, or she was a zombie strippers?
I've seen a lot of movies with Jenna Jameson. I don't remember one with her killing zombies.
Like actual movies.
Oh.
No,
Not-
no,
I've seen
I'm
no
not
actual
allowed to
movies
say
with
that I know
Jenna
what you're
Jameson.
talking about. I'm not authorized to say I know what movie
No.
you're talking about. I've never heard of it.
But, like I said, it just, meh.
I thought the production on it was pretty cool, and I felt like this is more, I think, what we expected out of the House of Horrors with Bray and Randy that didn't really pan out. You know what I mean? I felt like the production of it was they went all out and made it look like a horror film, which I thought was kind of cool in the middle of it. But I will say that, as a I would never classify it as a match, and I wouldn't think like, oh yeah, that Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes had a match that moved the story one way or the other. This felt like an inserted little horror movie thing as you went, which for the theme of the whole show I thought was fun and cool. I know in the chat that I'm in, the group chat, one of the guys laughing about Wade Barrett going, zombies are perfectly legal in this match. You're like, okay.
Thank you, Wade.
Call you get a lot. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Wade.
The other thing I thought was...
I didn't mention it before. I'll just throw it out there real quick as far as like funny, weird commentating stuff. During Hell in a Cell, Bailey slingshots Sasha into the cell, or maybe it's the other way around. And when it happens...
Lost audio? Cool.
No, I can hear you.
Absolutely.
Kev, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Can't hear Marsh.
Can you
Kev,
hear
tell
me?
him
To hang up?
I can hear you, yeah.
Then he's got to do what he has to do every other fucking time it happens.
Yeah.
I'll hang up. Let's see if I call back.
Yeah, I'm gone. That's it. I'm leaving.
It's the same thing every time. I don't know how he's confused by this. So during the cell thing,
Sorry.
she slingshots him into the cage, and then Michael Hochul just goes, "Hell in a Cell." And that was the whole call. So I was all like, very good, very good.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Let's see. Coach says, I fell asleep for a few minutes of the match and had nightmares, then woke up and it was still going. I did not sleep well after that. I mean, that seems like job well done, right?
I like the
You
ref.
didn't sleep. You just thought this was a nightmare that you were watching.
Yeah, you just were engrossed, dude. That's what it was. You didn't lose actual consciousness.
Yeah, the haunted house. I like the match or the ref the most, where he turned around and he was all zombie-ish.
The zombie ref turning around. Ugh.
The other thing I didn't like
Go ahead.
is I didn't like that Cameron Grimes said he doesn't like rednecks. Or this is why I don't like rednecks. I didn't get that at all. Why that was in there.
I wonder if it was just him trying to, I think it's like the joke of you are quintessential redneck, so if you don't like rednecks, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of an easy joke. Like if I were to be like, well, I don't really like the refs. It's like, well, you're fucking wearing a ref shirt every week.
I fucking hate refs.
Yeah. They're the worst. So I don't know. I felt like it was that, but to me, what I liked about this is it did feel like different, but on theme. So it was neat.
Yeah.
It was interesting, and I thought it was really well shot. But I didn't feel like it was in canon for whatever reason in my mind. But I'm sure that it was when they go back and talk about it. I'm sure they will.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have anything else on that, we can move on with it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I keep hitting the fucking ads on this my results thing up, so I just keep getting all these cell phone things. Okay, so the two women's matches ever after that: Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez, and then Io and Candice. I thought both of those matches were actually really good. What did you think of Raquel and Rhea?
I thought it was pretty much exactly what I would expect from them, and they performed. It was a good performance on both ends, and I enjoyed it.
I thought Raquel looked way stronger than she's looked in any other match. She caught Rhea in the air and turned it around into something. I just remember going like, "Jeez!" Like,
she powerbombed her into the side panel thing.
Yeah. No, I thought Raquel looked awesome. I thought she looked so good in this match. And I thought it was good because Raquel keeps being pushed as like this powerhouse. We've only seen her a couple times with significantly smaller women. So here it was all like, here's another very strong, big woman. How are you going to do now? Are you truly a powerhouse? And this is like, this was actually two great powerhouses. I thought having a good match.
Yeah.
It's good to see Rhea going out there. I like that her hair is starting to settle out. It's a little less white. So it was like, or a little yellow. And I was like, okay, this looks good. I was liking it. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I like seeing Rhea get some wins and start building towards something. I don't know. Do you think she's actually going to go for the NXT title again, or do you think she's going to just show up on like at Rumble and let that be that?
I don't think she's going to go for the title, at least for a while.
Yeah.
But outside, I don't know. I think she's kind of like Keith Lee, where Keith Lee, he did his thing, and then, they basically looked around and they were like, well, outside of Dijakovic, he's a lot bigger than everyone.
Yeah.
So, we have to move him up. I think Rhea's hitting that.
Yeah. Hitting that wall where other people don't look like they stand a chance.
Yeah.
I can
Where,
see that.
Anyone that she's up against outside of, what's her name, Raquel, it just won't look fair.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think we talked about that too when Io won, that Rhea as a champion didn't look defeatable, where Io does seem like she could be defeated, but it's just so good you believe she wins every time too.
Yeah.
Klump, what did you think? We're speculating on if we think that Rhea's actually ever going to go for the NXT Women's title again, or if she'll just eventually be called up.
And he's muted.
Klump, can you hear us?
Is he muted? Or
muted?
Is he just doing that gimmick where he pretends to be silent? All right, so we'll just move on. Kev, what did you think of Io versus Candice?
I liked it. I thought it was, good matches. When seeing Candice in the was it the street fight with Mia Yim, I was impressed on how many bumps she took.
Yeah.
And then seeing this again, it's like, God damn, like, for as little as she is, she takes some pretty hard bumps. And,
she does.
It looks great. That finish where she, I thought she broke her back.
Yeah, through the ladder.
Yeah.
And that like power bomb neck breaker type thing that she took on that chair, the open chair.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" But then when I watched it again, you could see how she's like super protecting herself there. She like barely even touches the chair almost.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's fantastic! Like, how is she so good at this?"
Yeah.
Do we get audio from Klump back yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I hear
Do you
him.
like Gargano more than, or do you like Gargano or Candice LeRae more though? Because they're attached.
I think I like Candice more.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I definitely like Candice more. I feel like Gargano, to me, like feels like he's overacting, or just maybe just trying to be too dramatic, and it just makes me uninterested. But I do like Candice a bit more.
Yeah, I do think Candice comes off more natural. She does come off a little more interesting. I do think that I think her movements are more natural in the ring as well. I feel like Gargano's at this point where he just thinks he's the next HBK, and that's just how he's going to be now. And he's just like the senior who never graduates. And I feel like Candice is actually showing up with something to prove along with the other women. Whether she ever leaves NXT or not, her goal is to make sure that she gets the best matches in her own catalog, is what it kind of feels like. And she's just tremendous.
Are you calling Johnny Uncle Rico?
Yes, 100%.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
Right.
Klump, do you agree, Uncle Rico?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Klump, now that we got your audio back, do you think Rhea's ever going to go for the title, or do you think she's just going to get called up before then?
I think she can. I think she should be called up. I don't think there's much like. I worry about people getting a title, then losing it, and then hanging out there because then they become like Uncle Rico or Aunt Rico in this case. Yeah. I think Rhea, like I heard Kevin say that she's such a big, like, as a talent, she is a bigger person than so much of their other female talent. So it feels weird having her like in a match with Io or Candice or Casey Catanzaro should be frightening and hilarious. So you got to bring her up to a level, like you got to bring her up to the main roster because there are people there that we've established that can be giant killers. So let's bring in a new scary giant. Like
exactly, like with Sasha, she's small but established. Believable fight still. Gotcha. Keep going.
Everyone's fucking up Nia. She can go up there and be in there and have a role, you know?
Grim Reaper has a question. It looks like he's got to head out. Let's see if we can answer it real quick. Who do you think is under the mask that helped Johnny and almost helped Candice? I think it's going to turn out to be Indy Hartwell. I don't know if that's who's actually physically under there, because I think that they wouldn't have... I think some of the bumps might not have been taken if it were, but I do think that it's going to be the reveal will be Indy Hartwell. That's my gut. Klump, who do you think?
Indy, yeah, that makes most sense to me.
Indy, and then Kev, you said earlier you thought it might be Ciampa, right?
Well, yeah, kind of, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be Thunder Rosa.
It's gonna be Thunder Rosa. Yes. It was me, Candice. It was me all along. Yeah, I'm into that. All right. Just to answer that, I do want to. I mean, was there other stuff you guys want to talk about on that match?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, so then I want to talk about this one topic that we don't have to like harp on for a long time, but I thought it was interesting enough to talk about for a minute. I do listen to Cornette's podcast and like some of it and not other bits of it. One of the things he brought up, and I don't think it's a surprise, is he talks about the credibility of matches and believability. That's a big thing for him. That's a very old school thing where you don't use someone else's finish in the middle of your match type of a deal, right? Well, one of the things he talks about is like the ever building threat of a thing, right? So if a dude gets hit by a chair and that's the end of the match, then you're meant to believe that chair shot is lethal and can take out a dude. If before that match happens, 100-pound girl or woman takes a chair shot and kicks out, then he believes the credibility of the chair shot is ruined. That, if that wouldn't put down a woman, why am I meant to believe it's going to take out a man, right? Because the man's 300 pounds maybe. I think it's an interesting concept or topic. I think the reason, I mean, and that's going to pull some people out of the matches. I get that or whatever. I think for me, the reason that's never pulled me out is the person swinging is also 100 pounds lighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the force is likely going to be dramatically less. If Kevin swung a chair at me versus the producer swinging a chair at me, probably the producer's going to hit me harder.
Yep.
And it's going to have more force. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So
she has to smell you all the time.
Yeah, there's a reason behind the hit.
All the time. Oh, Coach has a good theory. Under the hood, it's the Black Scorpion. That could be good. Let's start with Kevlar. What do you think about that? That's to me how I think I don't fall behind it in believability is that someone who's much smaller is not going to throw or hit someone with as much force as someone who's much larger, which is why you may not be taken out by something from a smaller person as a larger person would hit someone with the same weapon.
No, yeah,
Kevin?
100%. When you were talking about it, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's not, I'm trying to think, Kevin Owens hitting, let's say Daniel Bryan with a chair shot. Cool, he's down. Whereas Kevin Owens hitting, Alexa Bliss with a chair, it's going to be like, all right, he killed her. Whereas, vice versa with Alexa, hitting another woman, yeah, it's not going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think EO hitting Daniel Bryan would take him out the same way Kevin Owens hitting Daniel Bryan would.
Yeah.
Klump, what do you think?
I get that, yeah. I think it depends on the disparity between the size of the performers. But then also, like, in a sense, when you have, like, if it's EO and Candice, yeah, I expect a chair shot from either one of them to have this crazy power and knock them out because they're both, like, it's the mass to, like, performance thing, like, or ability thing. Not ability, but, like, they're there. Now, EO or Candice hitting KO, Samoa Joe, not really expecting it to be that much of a phase. It'd be like Daniel Bryan hitting Kane. Like, okay, cool, whatever, it ain't gonna happen. So I think it has an equivalency to it. I can get it when it's maybe because I'm expecting the force behind it. So I agree with that.
Okay.
Well, see,
Yeah.
and even taking sex out of this, like if once again,
Cheeseburger versus Zach Gowen, somebody like two small light guys.
Well, yeah, well that's what I was gonna say. Let's say Kevin Owens. If Dominic Mysterio hit Kevin Owens and he kicks out of a chair shot, it's okay, whatever. Whereas if Brock Lesnar hit Kevin Owens with a chair, it's gonna be like, oh fuck, like, yes, that's gonna do more damage.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. And it's not like it's a gun. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah,
bullet from
yeah.
any gun is going to have more force regardless of who pulls
No matter
the trigger.
who's holding it. Yeah.
Yeah. But if I throw a rocket at Klump, there's a good possibility I'm not throwing that rock as hard as Kevlar is going to throw that rock. Because Kevlar throws baseballs all the time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't throw even Nerf darts across a room. So I'm probably not as skilled. It's not going to have as much force behind it. You know what I mean?
So don't piss Kevlar off, but piss you off. Cool, got it.
Yeah, I can't throw rocks.
As long as
so you're
there's
good.
rocks around.
Yeah, if there's rocks around,
No.
yeah, you're good.
If there's a
That
gun
is the
involved.
takeaway of people on the podcast to get into a fight with. Marsh is lowest on totem.
Right. Kevlar, look, Klump's like looking around at the ground real quick. Hold on. You a bitch!
Fuck you.
Fuck you, dude.
I don't know. Marsh has been in the prison,
Yeah, I did.
so working at prison.
Yeah, I always work it. Kev, what were you saying?
No, just agreeing with.
Yeah, so I could understand the concept of like believability being important and that, you want to protect the idea of something becoming more powerful down the line or becoming weakened by a thing. But I do feel like two smaller people hitting each other with blunt objects would not surprisingly have less impact than two larger people hitting each other with said same objects. You know what I mean? So I don't think for me it pulls me out at all on that way. But I guess I could see where someone might get that thought, but this viewer, I don't feel it.
Yeah. Well, even just going back to it real quick, even if, once again, Kevin Owens, for whatever's in my head, if he hit one
badass. Kevin Owens is a badass.
But I mean, if he hit Daniel Bryan with it and got the win, okay. And then if he hit, Dominic Mysterio and Dominic kicked out, to me, it still doesn't take away the credibility of the chair shot.
Right. I think it's like if Kevin Owens hit Daniel Bryan with a chair and gets the win, and then like you said, if Zelina hits Kevin Owens with the chair and gets the win also. It's all like, can anyone just knock the chair out? I actually almost think that it does the opposite if it worked the same way. You know what I mean? It becomes a bullet at that point. Where versus if Kevin Owens hit like a James Ellsworth with a chair and he kicked out, but he hits, Daniel Bryan with a chair and gets the win, then you're kind of like, wait, can he not swing this chair sometimes? Like,
Yeah.
But I get it. I see it. I was just wondering how you guys felt. If that's your same mentality, or if you see it a different way, or you interpret it a different way, or if it's one of those things where you just go like, man, I just fucking suspend disbelief and accept everything that comes at me. That's also totally fine. I'm not trying to say there is a right or wrong way to look at it or view it. I just thought it was interesting because hearing him describe it, I was like, I don't like feel that. I feel like, Kevin Owens will swing a chair harder than Alexa Bliss will at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't think I had a whole lot else to say other than that I really, really enjoyed Halloween Havoc, and there was no match on there that I was dying to see. I felt like all of them were kind of rehashes and kind of things we've been seeing for a while, and I was like, okay, well, should be all right. But I thought Shotzi showed up, made it very interesting between spots. I thought that the cinematic match was very creepy and fun for the moment and the feel of it. And I thought the matches really turned up. I thought it was rad. I liked it. Well, I didn't expect it to like as much as I did. And I know that's probably like stupid because you should probably always expect to like the things you're going to watch, but I don't always. Any final things either you wanted to say about it?
No, I think I'm good. I liked it. I thought it was a fantastic Wednesday event. Could have been a pay-per-view, and I'm glad we got it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Could have been
And I
for
think,
sure.
and I think this is one of the few times where they bring something back that everyone's been asking for years and delivered with it. Because I remember when they first brought War Games back, everyone was really excited, and I liked the match, but I know a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, this, and I think they nailed it with this, because I've been calling for Halloween Havoc for years, and now that they brought it back, like, great, let's do it every year.
Yeah, and it did feel a lot like an old thing with a definitely new feel. It didn't feel like the old Halloween Havocs. It felt fresher and newer and creepier. Like it felt like a new idea, which you don't always see with those callback things. Like In Your House looked like a reference to old In Your Houses, and it didn't feel new or anything. It just was like having a show in a different backdrop. This felt like a fresh idea.
Yeah, they didn't really put the NXT spin on it, where this they did.
Yeah, and I liked the In Your House. I really enjoyed it. I felt nostalgic about it, but this felt different, newer. This felt like you could have told me it was the first Halloween Havoc ever, and I would have believed it. Producer had something she wanted to say.
I love the intro just with the band. The one musician just rocking out and Dijakovic. Like, I just think as a passive viewer, if I were just to flip on the TV or, the network, I would be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, it looked and felt like a show. Yeah. Like, we're not there in person, but I felt like this is how they compensated, just with really, really cool effects, cool music, live music. I just thought it was fun. Yeah.
That was cool. I did think it was a bummer. Poppy does the I'm Poppy right before EO, and everyone goes like, oh, shit, because that was so good last time. And then she walks out, and you see her talking, like trying to sing into the mic, and no sound is coming out. And so she just puts the mic down and walks out with her. I was like, what are you supposed to do? Like, it was a bummer because I was like, oh, really? I thought that moment would have been dope, and to hear her do the spot again would have been so cool. But the mic didn't work, and she goes, fuck it, I'm just going to walk out there and look kind of weird.
Yeah, they kind of pulled a Klump.
They pulled a Klump. Well, yeah, I guess his mic was muted too.
Yeah, it was muted. Okay. Forget it.
Klump, how'd you feel about the whole thing?
Again? Yeah.
Wait, did we start with you? I thought we went to Kev.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god.
Klump said his thing, and then I said my thing, and
then producer said her thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is why I got to
Yeah,
start
we're good.
drinking. We've been doing Go Sober for October all month, and it is ruining.
Did anyone get a chance to check out NXT UK?
Anybody watch NXT UK? I think we were all at work.
All right. Well, I saw it and I thought it was awesome. I would say definitely watch the Walter and Dragunov match. It's just the whole time I'm just like, can't you just pass out from smacks because they were like killing each other?
Yeah, when I came home, she was all like, "I just finished NXT UK," and I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "I thought someone was gonna die from a smack," and I was like, "That sounds like a Walter match. That sounds fantastic."
It was, and yeah, and Dragunov brought it. I mean, they both. I just feel like NXT UK. Maybe it's the fact that it's only an hour, but it felt like we were just getting started. Like it always leaves me wanting more.
Yeah, not bad. Every time I watch NXT UK, I always think like, man, why isn't this on national TV all the time?
Right? Yeah,
Spot.
I'm like waiting for them to pull the trigger and do that. Like, go national, I guess.
Can you imagine they make the second hour of Raw just NXT UK?
I would love that. I just think Raw would get a boost if they did that.
Remember how they did that with the cruiserweights for a bit? Like the third hour had the cruiserweights or some shit? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like even the Devlin match with Muir, I think it was like his first match. I was like, this dude looks like a star. Like how does everyone in this show already look like a star? Yeah. Even with it not being like, the main event, I was like, these are really good matches. And I think even Devlin, for it being a cruiserweight, it didn't feel like a 205 Live where everyone's like, okay, well now I can turn off. All right, now I can leave. Like I feel like what? No, I feel like on the live events that's what happens a lot of times, and it doesn't get the credit that it should. And I felt like with like the Devlin match, it's not like that. It's like, hey, this is my title. This is what we're doing, and this is it felt like more serious in a different way. And I'm always really excited for that. And I wish that 205 Live was like the same kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, it just speaks to how much I like NXT UK, I guess.
That's awesome. That's good. The producer started watching wrestling behind my back, and she still calls herself a casual fan. You see? She's been watching wrestling. She's not missed a wrestling show in like 3 years. And she goes, I'm a pretty casual viewer. I've started watching more wrestling when you're at work. What?
Although I would like to see more women. Yeah. I think there was only like one women's match, which I enjoyed. But yeah, it keeps me wanting to watch more.
Yeah, NXT UK, they always bring it really good stuff. Check it out on the network. Guys, we are WrestlingOnTheRocks.com. Give us your likes, your reviews, your 5 stars, the thumbs up, the ringer bell notifications, the whole gamut of all the things, the follows, the subs, the prime subscribes. Whatever it's going to take to buy me a drink. That's what we're doing this for. I need to drink. And Go Sober for October. GoSober.org.uk, the UCK, as we call it, for all your donating to the McMillan Foundation. This should be the final show where we're sober so I can get back to finishing complete sentences and doing this the way it was meant to be.
We'll be more coherent.
Coherent thoughts.
Have a safe Halloween, everyone.
Be safe, be spooky. Guys, I think that's last call.
Y'all have a good night.
Call.
All right, well, I thought one of you guys were going to do like a cheer. Well, I thought one of them was going to say cheers. Klump, take it home. Last call.
Cheers.
Thanks, Kevin.